because you continue to come after us.
A prominent activist who has often clashed with Dallas police over claims of brutality, Dominic Alexander is now facing his own allegations of violence. He was arrested on 2 charges of assault involving the mother of his 2 children. A judge issued an emergency protective order barring him from making contact with the victim.
I really don't think it's a good idea for Karmelo Anthony to be parading around with other criminals while on house arrest. Let's not pretend that we don't remember how young Black men, particularly in this case, affluent ones, it really doesn't even matter the class level, affluent ones, poor ones, there is an attraction to violence. For some reason, these kids want to be thugs. I know that, and you know that. You could get unalived by stepping on somebody's shoe, by being disrespected. We all know that that is true. Stop the cap.
Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
When a whole race is demonized, and then you start celebrating people who kill that race, there is something deeply wrong. The left has this fascination with bigging up violence, particularly when it's pointed at the right people. What's up, everybody? I'm Quisha King. Welcome to the Quisha King Show. Make sure you like this video, share this video out, and subscribe. Let me tell you what we do over here. Over here, we want the truth. Over here, we believe that truth prevails. Over here, our community wants to look more deeply at situations. All that surface stuff, you can get that on other channels, but over here, we want to look more deeply at situations. We want to know exactly what's going on so we can assess the target and we know where to put our focus. You know, if you want the fluff and the surface stuff, this is not where you find it. We are going to be going deeper. So if you like that kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share this video out, and like it.
This morning, Dominic Alexander is charged with 2 counts of family violence. And new at 11, we've learned the Dallas County District Attorney is recusing himself from prosecuting the case. That's because Alexander campaigned for DA John Creuzot in the last election. A judge will be asked to appoint an outside prosecutor now.
CBS 11's Andrea Lucia has more now on Alexander's arrest and his response.
You are not to go to or within 500 feet of the residence or place of employment of the person listed in your order.
According to a source familiar with the investigation, the victim accused Alexander of slamming her head against a wall and, in a separate incident, choking her. Hours before the arrest, he posted on social media writing, "Thank you, everyone, for your love and prayers for me and the victim, for God will direct our path."
And that was Andrea Lucia reporting. We should tell you that we've just learned within the last half hour that Alexander has posted bond on his assault charges, but he still has outstanding warrants for some other violations that he'll have to pay before he's released from jail. We've also learned late last night that he has a warrant out of Arlington for family violence in that city. That case involves the same victim, and it dates back to 2015. Police records show the woman accused him at that time of pushing her multiple times during an argument. Alexander was charged with a Class C misdemeanor. He did post bond for that charge this morning. Our Steve Pickett is following this story today.
Dominic Alexander sounds like a hood booger too. As you can see, Dominic has some problems. This goes back to 2009. And by the looks of these first pictures, yeah, moving right along. This might not be the person that you want representing you. A race hustler, a race baiter, a criminal, the person who's had this much involvement in criminal activities. I don't know if you want that person representing you. It's not a good look. But Does that say anything about the family? Like, what? Why would a family who is trying to paint the picture of their child, not saying that the picture is inaccurate, I'm just saying for public perception, they're trying to paint the picture of their child as this good kid, making grades, has a job, head of the football team, no trouble at all, despite this story of him causing trouble in school recently, that for some reason we still don't have the details on. The school now saying that they want to expel him, which I'm really not surprised. And these people, this person says, let's not rush to judgment. I mean, it's not like he killed anybody or anything. Like, why would we need to, we don't need to expel him.
For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate, okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame.
So the school has a boy who has this record on him that nobody else knows about. Now the same boy has fatally harmed someone, and they're trying to push off the responsibility to who exactly? Dominique, what are you talking about? He fatally harmed someone. You think that the school wants, to keep, just to pretend like that didn't happen? He doesn't have to walk the graduation. They're not supposed to address that at all. What should they do, Dominique? But this is the same man who himself was sentenced to prison. And I'm not saying people cannot change, they obviously can. But his cases are as early as 2019. And now he's trying to race hustle. This seems like a con job for this guy. He sounds like a con. He sounds like he continues to engage in criminal activity and trying to hold up the American people and paint this thing as some type of race thing, and as this is white people doing this and this family is a victim. I mean, the Metcalf family has been swatted. The Metcalf family has been getting death threats too. The Metcalf family also lost their child. Their child can't come home. Their child can't be marked safe because of Karmelo. Whether or not we have all the details, that we know for sure. So it is disrespectful. You have used this platform, you helping this family to cause racial strife and division where there was none, to make this a case that seems like you haven't done anything wrong. Oh, we haven't been the ones disrespecting. When you kicked out the not starting the press conference because the father was there, not doing anything, whether it was right or wrong for him to go, it doesn't seem like he didn't have a right to be there. Didn't seem like he had any weapons, didn't seem like he was there to cause any harm. Y'all are sitting up here, his wife, the mother of his children, she's been swatted. So maybe he's there to just find, okay, what is going on? You need to get control of your side. It is not a one-sided thing. And another thing, this whole idea that Kyle Rittenhouse, whose name you cannot even pronounce, and Daniel Penny, who is the other name that you can't pronounce, these cases are not the same.
He should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right.
How is he not being afforded those same rights? How is he not being afforded the same rights? First of all, the cases are not even the same. And you have in the court of law, you have to compare apples with apples because small differences make a big deal. These cases are not the same. Daniel Penny, who was released, you don't remember all the hubbub around him? He was not, people were coming after him. You're not saying that he had you would probably have been on the same side as people going after Daniel Penny for his self-defense. You would probably say that he did not deserve self-defense. Why? Because he's white. Kyle Rittenhouse, not Cal, Kyle, did not shoot 3 people in the back. And look at all the hell he went through. And you're not saying that, oh, it was good for him to have self-defense. You're just using, because he's a white guy, you're stoking race, you're stoking the fires of racism, and you're trying to make it a racial thing. It's not the same stories, not even close. We need to stop pretending like Black children of all race classes, poor, middle class, wealthy, don't have a problem with venturing into Black culture, which is a degenerate culture that is not producing anything good. What is Black culture producing? Things that we actually call Black culture, because we know what Black culture is, like the culture, the Black culture that is really talked about. It is not producing anything good. And there is a study done by leftists, okay, that says data shows affluent Black kids are more likely to be incarcerated than poor white kids. Now, why is that? A new study examining the links between race, wealth, and incarceration found that while poor youth of all races are more likely than wealthy kids to go to prison, the likelihood of incarceration was higher for African Americans at every level of wealth compared to white youth. Researchers analyzed data from the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth, which gathered data between 1979 and 2012 from nearly 13,000 young men and women. They found that wealthy Black kids were more likely to go to prison than poor white kids. While about 2.7% of the poorest white youth ended up in prison, 10% of affluent Black youth ultimately went to prison. Now, if you keep on reading, because this is an article and research, it's how they interpret the research that's the problem. Now, they go on to say, like, oh, it doesn't matter what class you're in. White police officers are still going to put you in jail. The wealthy Black kids are not doing anything, okay? Just like the wealthy poor Black kids, wealthy middle class kids, it's never the responsibility of the person. Never. It's always somebody else. They don't want you to take responsibility for your actions. No, they want you to keep on blaming it on somebody else. We know that Black people, Black males in particular, have a problem with so-called disrespect. That is a very Black, a culturally Black thing to have a problem with. Oh, why she looking at me? Oh, why he looking at me? Oh, he stepped on my shoe. I gotta shoot him. Oh, he bumped into me wrong. I gotta shoot him. Oh, he put his hands on me. He shoved me. I got to shoot him. Stop pretending like Black people do not cape for criminals. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And people are getting sick and tired of Black people acting like this is not a problem. Speaking of caping for criminals, I want to talk about this phenomenon of how the left, and increasingly more, are just caping for criminals. Why is the left constantly standing for violence of certain people? We got a whole Senator Chris Van Halen, takes his behind over to El Salvador to cape for Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. This is what a senator said. Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. I said my main goal of this trip was to meet with Kilmar. Tonight I had that chance. This is in El Salvador. I have called his wife, Jennifer, to pass along his message of love. I look forward to providing a full update of my return. With American citizens like this, who needs criminals? Who needs them? Who needs nations to hate you when you have American citizens that do stuff like this? Go out of the country to another country to talk to an illegal who has broken our laws. This is insane. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was illegally abducted and is being held in a notorious prison in El Salvador, barred from contacting his family or lawyers. The thing is, he was not illegally detained.
Order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
My husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and I'm not going to push on that apparently, but
I'm sorry, what? This man has broken into our country illegally, has committed multiple crimes since he's been here. Now he's been deported. Judges have said that he is in fact involved with MS-13, have ordered his deportation years ago, never was made to deport. Now he is deported, and the American Senate, it's American politicians who are saying, oh no, bring him back. Even the El Salvadorian president is like, nah, I'm not going to smuggle him back into the United States. Even if he was brought back, he would be deported. They're playing games with you. The left wants to cape for criminals.
To see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America, as if we don't lionize criminals, as if we don't have, we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows. There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen, because people were like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
The women who gather outside court in New York.
So you're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems like this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Yeah, I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's where we are. I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter, but some of how people cannot understand why people have sympathies for Mangione strikes me as the same as a lot of media not understanding why people support Trump.
I totally agree.
It's because a lot of people are just really, really desperate.
They want somebody to take on the system. They want when this is the United States of America.
Comparing Donald Trump to a killer, these people are crazy. And look how she gushes over a killer. Like, regardless if Netflix gives a killer a TV show, you're supposed to be a journalist. This girl works for the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken. She is an open leftist who is a journalist who is caping for criminals. Luigi Mangione he's the guy who killed the CEO of United Health because they don't like their health insurance. So you kill. Oh, I don't like that you put your hand, I don't like that you in my space, you touched me wrong. So I can fatally harm you. Oh, I don't like that you drive a Tesla. I can hurt you. These people will find any reason to cause harm to a person if they don't agree with them politically. And remember Mahmoud Khalil, the protester at Columbia? Oh, they were caping hard for him too. Oh, yes. Reporting Andy No from the Post Millennial. He says, who is Mahmoud Khalil? Liberal media is reporting that he is a Palestinian detained by ICE for, quote, anti-war activism. That's false. Khalil is one of the leaders of Colombia You Apartheid Divest, a group that explicitly invites support for Hamas and terrorism.
A spokesperson with the Department of Homeland Security released a statement. They claim he, quote, led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization.
Number 2, Mohsen Madawi. Student activist Mohsen Madawi is from Al Faria, a town under Palestinian Authority control. He is affiliated with pro-Hamas groups within Our Lifetime and Students for Justice in Palestine. He justified and supported Hamas terrorism and praised a family member who was an actual Hamas terrorist. Active at the encampment, he served as co-president of Colombia's Palestinian Student Union.
We are here in the belly of the beast. Nobody can silence us.
Number 3, Abdul Qayyum Ahmed is a former Columbia professor and South African national affiliated with the pro-terror group Faculty and Staff for Justice in Palestine. He supported the encampment at Columbia University and praised the student activists.
Our students have shown us how to be disobedient. Our students continue to show us the way.
Number 4, Audra Simpson is a Canadian anthropology professor at Columbia affiliated with Faculty and Staff for Justice in Palestine. She defended the pro-terror encampment and signed a petition in support of the violent student organizations Columbia University Apartheid Divest, Students for Justice in Palestine, and Jewish Voice for Peace. Number 5, Saf Shamoun is a Syrian native from Aleppo and a PhD candidate in anthropology at Columbia University. He supported the encampment at Columbia and also participated in anti-Israel protests across New York City. Finally, number 6, Mohammed Abdu. Abdu explicitly supported Hamas and Hezbollah after the October 7th attacks in Israel. He was educated in Canada from 2004 until 2019 and was a visiting professor at Columbia University during the encampment.
While I might be with Hamas and support the resistance, absolutely.
I don't pledge allegiance to no American, let alone to no constitution. I don't call myself an American, and I've never called myself a Canadian.
That was our list of 6 suspected foreign nationals associated with the Columbia University encampment. Do you know any other foreign activists that support Hamas?
There is a problem in America with this want to defend the worst among us. This has to end. From Karmelo Anthony to Mahmoud Khalil. This has to stop. Right has to be right and wrong has to be wrong. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about what I think in the comment section below. Again, don't forget to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe if you are new to this channel and you have not done so already. Again, over here, we deal with truth and we go deeper than the other channels that just want to stay on the surface. Let's look at what's really happening and how we can make a real difference. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.